So, hi Donna.
Hello.
Welcome to Marketing the Madness at the Retail Tech Show. And me and Donna are actually going to break all the rules, guys, because we're not going to talk about retail tech. We're not even going to talk about retail that much. Donna is about to launch an exciting new business all around joy. We're going to talk about that later. So we're actually going to talk about the joy of meeting people in real life at events. I love this because this is great content for my business, and maybe some of the joy that you've found at the Retail Tech Show so far.
Yeah, definitely. I think so. So my background is live events. So I used to work in exhibitions, used to run huge events. Here, actually, it was one of our biggest events. We used to get about 30,000 people that would turn up to our event. And there was something about being in that live space that I never kind of took for granted, the fact that people got out of their beds, got ready, got on the train and got here and then like met and kind of amalgamated themselves all for this kind of purpose of whatever the kind of subject matter may be. And I always find that beautiful and fascinating, but also I think for me, it's where the real stuff happens, right? When we actually meet people as opposed to just like seeing thumbnails on LinkedIn and hearing people PR'd really. And so my my passion is, yes, it's joy, but it's really about the joy of being a real person.
Being a real person in real life, meeting people. And do you know what? You make a really good point, actually, because for anyone that doesn't know when this is the week of tube strikes in London. And I know the show organisers, because, of course, we're one of the podcast partners, were really worried about, oh, my gosh, like, you know, initially it was only going to be one day. Now it's all week. Yeah. But the hordes of people outside and the amount of people that are here that have made an effort, that want to be here, engaging with, you know, other people and meeting people in real life, because there's obviously something about in real life events that makes them make the effort. As hard as it was to get here today, no tubes. We're on, I mean, some of the tubes are working, but not all of them. So no tubes. We have to get an Uber here, people getting taxis. Right. I just spoke to one of our friends, Charles. He was like, it took me 2 hours to get here. Like, people, if you design an event well enough, people want to come because it does bring you joy.
Yeah, that's testament to a good event, good content, good people here, good exhibitors, brilliant program. Like, it's all of the things like meshed up into one kind of beautiful package that forces, the wrong word, but you know what I mean, that helps people kind of make that additional shift, because I don't know how many things in the past that you have just like signed up for. Oh, I just signed up for this free event here, this thing on I don't know, an online thing, and you sort of put your name down and then you see it's like 12 o'clock and then at 12:15 like, oh damn, I didn't do that thing. But actually I think the kind of creating something that is so special allows people to make that effort. And I think when the effort is even that one little bit of additional effort, like ordering an Ubs or something like that, that actually what that says is that you've created a good event, because I think people don't need much of an excuse not to bother going to things.
No, Donna, I love you. I love that you just called it ordering an Ubs, because I've never called it that before. But I so am now. What? Just going to order an Ubs, get an Ubs.
Do you not say that?
No.
Do you say the full word?
Uber.
Oh yeah.
Ordering an Uber. Right, sorry, I'm going to have to ask the audience, guys. So, girls, do you call it ordering an Ubs?
No, but I think they might now.
But we're all basically saying we're going to call it ordering an Ubs.
I swear to God, other people do. I haven't just made up ordering an Ubs. I think I've heard that from somewhere. Oh, mate, you know.
Right, guys, this is going to be in a poll. Do you call it ordering an Ubs, or do you call it ordering an Uber? Please reply in the comments. So anyway, back to the important conversation at hand, but I'm so here for that. After we've ordered an Ubs to get to the event that we want to go to, what I want to unpack with you, because I think we're both going to have ideas on this, is what makes an event attendable. So maybe we could kind of both like for our lovely listeners,
Yeah.
kind of list off some of the things. I know for me, there's so many ingredients, but I think you've already mentioned one, which is super important. And then I'm going to come to you for the next one. So number one for me is having a really interesting, inspiring speaker.
Yeah.
Now, the lineup here this week is incredible. You've got people like Grace Beverley, the founder of Tala. You've got big, celebs, Suka Tullyman. I've just interviewed the interim CEO of Mamas and Papas.
Yeah.
Like, there are some incredible speakers here. Founder of All Saints, I've got on tomorrow. Like, the people that are congregating here are people that you want to hear from, that are inspiring, that I want to make the effort to go and meet and go and listen and go and hear them talk. So that is number one for me, is have someone interesting.
Absolutely.
That doesn't even have to be high profile always, but if it's in B2B, having a good brand speaker, having someone that people want to come and listen to that's going to share something of value, super important.
Of value, I think, is critical there. I think there's, I've attended events in the past where the audience sit in front of a sales pitch, and it's kind of like you see an audience kind of, we know when we're being sold to, and we don't like it as human beings. And so for us, like when we saw organise events, it was always like the kind of content is king mantra was just always there. It's kind of, anything else we do is icing on top of the content cake, right? It had to be the people that, knowing your audience, so knowing who they want to see there, knowing what brands are really doing interesting, innovative, exciting things, and then hearing from the brains that are creating that innovative, exciting, interesting stuff. You want to hear that. You want to unpick it a little bit. You don't just, I mean, it's beautiful to walk into Sephora or see a Sephora launch in a city and you're like, wow, that's amazing. But to hear Sarah talk about why they do it in the way they do it today was something else. And the kind of talk about this kind of like how they really understand the intricacies of the city, not just like, oh, we're just going to book 300 square foot and then we'll open a shop. It was like really understanding the intricacies of the people that live in the cities, from like diverse humans, the mayor, the LGBT plus community, like all of the people that they kind of put in this big sort of soup, if you like. And then we're like, right, now we understand the people that live here. Let's create something that's fully tailored to those people. And so I think if you take that kind of modeling and you apply it to an event and you go, right, who are the people that are coming? So we might have our pool of retailers, we'll have our pool of, tech experts, we'll have our pool of, and you start like segmenting that audience and then create tracks for all of those. That for me is when you start to create something incredibly special and trying to like create things that are, it's that money can't buy stuff. Like hearing that stuff about the Sephora today was just like, that was it was gold. It was beautiful.
And they're not trying to sell too early, like you said at the beginning.
Absolutely.
There, like, they're giving you value. And I obviously today in the B2B world, we're hearing about all the different cool technologies these brands are using. We're hearing about their future plans when it comes to their marketing, their technology, their operations within their business. Like, we're literally getting the gold that we need from like some of the fastest, most amazing growing businesses. Well, not just in the UK, worldwide.
Right.
I just interviewed someone from Canada. And I think that's the key. I'm going to go back to B2B events a little bit here, is so many B2B events are trying to sell too early. They make it corporate. The amount of clients that I go, not so much now, I think people are getting it now, but that want to do the hard sell too early. I'm like, no, you're selling too early. Just give value. You don't need to sell anything.
Right.
Just talk about the amazing things that you're helping your customers do without trying to sell. Literally just talk about how you're helping them, because I promise you there'll be loads of people in the audience at the event and or online, wherever you're hosting this content, whether it be an in-person event or online. You don't need to go, and you can go and have a demo here and do, like, just stop. Like, it's too early.
Yeah, exactly.
Let them engage with you. So I'm actually like spitting. I'm so excited about this.
It is exciting. It's spittable.
Yeah,
It's spittable.
maybe I want to spit on them. But like, it's just so annoying that it needs spitting on. Like, it's so annoying.
It is annoying.
Everyone's laughing at her now. Laughing, spitting.
I always think
I'm getting an oops.
You're absolutely right, and I think because as human beings, like we're like the kind of like the rabbit in the woods that is like, what's that noise? Like we sense it, we can feel it coming, and it makes us go like icked, and we're like, ugh, no, don't like it. And so I think that when it's that kind of lighthouse mentality, isn't it? It's like, if you're strong enough in your brand and you know what you're doing is amazing, and you're confident in who you are, you don't need to go, please buy my thing, please buy our thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of, you can go, look, our stuff is cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Our stuff is cool.
Yeah, we've got cool stuff. In fact, try and sell less and they'll want to buy more. How about that as a strategy?
Honest to God, that's what the talk I heard earlier on with Loaf, actually, really interesting. She was talking about Beverly, was talking about the fact that in their stores, which I have a confession, I've not been in to store. I know.
A lot of time sitting on Loaf sofas in their
She
stores.
said their dwell time is about 45 minutes,
Yeah.
but some people spend like 2 hours in there. They have sweet treats, all this stuff. They have a movie on a loop. So they have like 3 movies.
I haven't
that
been
just
in for a
loop
long time.
round.
I need to go back.
It's amazing, right? So they have there's a movies loop round, and people literally just like hang out. Should they bring their kids? Sometimes it's like a creche on a Saturday. Some people are going off to, I don't know, Blue Water to the cinema. Some people are going to Loaf to watch a movie, have a packet of crisps with their kids. I'm like, this is amazing. And she was saying that, like, people aren't going to walk in for that first time and go, hello there, I'll put an order on this, please. Lovely. Like,
You
that's
might
not
get a few, but it's
but it's
unlikely.
unlikely, right? But this is the thing, isn't it? Psychologically, once they've sat on that sofa a few times, they've felt it, how it would sort of fit into their lives, fit into their homes. All of a sudden, it's harder to let it go then,
But
isn't
so
it?
many, like, if you imagine, I mean, God, I remember going around stores like this with my parents when I was younger, and it was like, you mustn't sit on that. You mustn't. Just mean how brands have cottoned on to human psychology and human behaviour and the benefits of, okay, yeah, we might get a little stain on the sofa occasionally, but actually it's more important that people feel at home, because this is a product they're going to have in their home, and making them feel at ease and not like, oh, I can't touch that, I can't do this.
Right.
And actually letting the kids sit there and eat crisps on the sofa, massive game changer in terms of the amount of people that are actually going to buy your product.
Absolutely. And having a deep understanding, it's clear to me. And she didn't really talk about the sort of the physiology, the emotional response that we would have, but obviously having a deep understanding of what that does to a consumer, and how that relaxes their entire system, and how it makes them feel that they have ownership of that space. There's something there that is so thoroughly compelling that I think that's your kind of holy grail of that kind of experience, especially with something that you're going to be taking into your home.
Well, I'm going to bring it back to events again.
Yeah.
Because I'm event obsessed. But just because I promised our listeners that I was going to give them some tips on how to host good events. But you've dialed into one of the next things is you don't have to, you're not just designing an event, you're designing an experience.
100%.
So when I think about us putting on B2B events for our clients, I'm thinking about, how can I make this feel like more of an experience and something that they can get involved with. We're not just asking them to show up and be talked at or listen.
Yeah.
And that is an important part.
Yeah.
We've just talked about how you've been listening to some really great talks. But how can we make it more of an experience for them? So we now in B2B will be designing events where, people are coming and they're making something. They're making food together.
Right.
We've got an event in Barcelona coming up where people are going to be making paella and sangria together, and we're teaming them up. You break down barriers and you form much stronger relationships.
Right.
If you're thinking about the B2B sales element here,
Yeah.
you form much deeper relationships when you're working together doing something. So I think B2B events and how we design them, it doesn't have to be shows like this a little bit harder, because we're at the Excel,
right,
and there's a lot of there's a lot of stands, there's a lot of talks, like it's a different kind. But when you're designing more intimate B2B events, which I would say, probably one of the biggest lead generators out there when it comes to B2B marketing and sales, is design them as experiences. How can you be different? How can you do something that reflects your brand? Like, Sephora talking about the launch. How can you do something that is right for your audience to get them engaged and want them to keep coming back to the store?
Right.
How can you design, it works the same rules, B2B, B2C, but I think in B2B we've just fallen to the same boring corporate routines.
100%. And I think that's what happens. I think people, we fall into this kind of, that's the event formula. We'll have some vendors here. We'll have somewhere for them to have some drinks. Then we'll do something fun. Then we'll and it becomes and starts to feel a bit formulaic. And I think what we used to do when we used to run live events, which was the best thing we did. And I remember my boss at the time. I remember thinking like, oh my God, are you joking? Have I got to spend like a few weeks doing this? But I swear to God, it was the best thing. So we had 200 exhibitors and I spent about 3 weeks ringing or meeting every single one of them and just like listening, just going like, and just, I was like, right, here, this conversation is for the good, the bad, the ugly. Like, tell me all the good things, tell me all the bad things, tell me all the things that you think we should do. If I could wave a magic wand, like, what would you want it to look like, blah, blah. That was that. And there, like, gold would just like ding, 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 it would drop in. And then we started doing it with our trade visitors. So our really important visitors, the visitors that we knew had spending power and that were valuable to the vendors. Then we started doing it that side. Spoke to every single one of them. Hi, what is it that we could be doing better? And so and again, it goes right back to that Sephora thing, right? It's really knowing on a human level what your audience want. Because actually, you might be building an axe throwing session and everyone's like, yeah, I don't like that. What we'd really love to do actually is have a picnic on the beach. I don't know, but and then you'd go like, oh my God, like
we can do that.
We can do that. That's really easy. And so that's where we would uncover utter gold. Then you could start also going, look, John from blah, blah, blah says he quite likes the idea of, oh my God, that's an amazing idea. Yes, please. Or they go like, no, John, no, definitely not. But you'd start to really be able to kind of mold those ideas. And so building an event, again, with anything, it's knowing your audience, right?
Do you know what I was just thinking? You could get even smarter with that now because you could use one of the transcription tools like Otter or something that listens to the call, plug it all into some AI tool and go, what are the commonalities across here? How could we design the event better? There's 100%. So much being done. That wasn't accidental, but I'm just obviously all about technology, and we are at the Retail Tech Show.
Right.
What we used to do manually, and we do that, by the way, even today, we call every single guest, because our events tend to be more intimate, between sometimes as low as 12, but up to 100, 150 guests. They tend to be more curated audiences. We speak to every single guest, not just once, 2 or 3 times.
Absolutely.
Running up to the event. Who do you want to sit near? What are the brands you're interested in meeting on the day? What challenges have you got in your business right now? So that we can curate and create experiences and events that are actually good, and that effort is bloody worth it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and so much more we can do now with tech. Now, we've probably got another 5 minutes. I want to get one more tip. I love this, by the way. I feel like we could have our own podcast.
Definitely.
I'm so here for it. One more tip when it comes to events. What else? So we've talked about venue and experience. No, we've not talked about venue. We've kind of talked about venue. We've talked about experience. We've talked about the importance of having some valuable content and something good to listen to that's kind of sparking a problem that you've got right now, maybe. What else is important?
I think be brave. I think there's a kind of fresh that I think what happens is especially when events have been running for a few years, that they sort of follow the same floor plan and the same kind of footfall flow and all that kind of stuff. And sometimes it's just like, do you know what if we just like turn that on its head? What if we just do something completely different? What if we just, and I think so bravery, I think is really good with events. But also I think when you're attending events, to be brave, like I was literally just standing outside here. I won't say who it was, but I was just standing outside here just as I was waiting to come in. And I was like, I look, do that like weird kind of badge look thing when you're at events.
It's so orcs, isn't it? like literally looking at people's badges, and then you like they catch you looking. And I'm like, oh, but you were quite nice. You're from like Ralph Lauren. I want to talk to you.
Exactly.
I want to get some free Ralph Lauren clothes.
And then you're like, oh no.
No. Primark, no thanks. No, I'm joking. Love you, Primark.
Yes, we like literally look at us like, oh, they could be really interesting to talk to actually. And I was like, hi. And I think with networking, I tend to find like that kind of going up, like even as like, I suppose a bit, I can be quite extroverted. I still find that like a bit icky dicky. And so I kind of, but then you just have to go like, no, say hi. Because everyone's here to meet people, and then once you got it, you're like, no, like everyone's here to meet people, like say hi to the people. And so again, it's like it comes right back to that human connection bit, and understanding that that's what this is built for, and understanding that, you know, at one point in history, this was all just an idea that two people had in a pub. Do you know what I mean? And actually right now, look at it. And so, and like, and something about that, I think, is always incredibly special. And so when I'm standing outside and I think it feels a bit like to say hi to somebody, I think, you know what, sod that. I'm just going to say hello.
Just do it.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's so important. And I think it comes, you know, with practice, with age. But yeah, be brave. Go say hi. Break down that. Because you're right. Like, you know, especially at conferences like this, there'll be loads of people here that have come on their own.
Right.
And you know, although one of the customers earlier was saying like that she was like diving through, like, please don't, all of the different tech companies trying to sell something to her. But you know, a lot of the time they are here to investigate new technologies.
Absolutely.
They are here to meet new people, to get new ideas, to hear from other peers in their industry.
Right.
So don't worry about going to say hi. And you can quickly like find out if it's not a thing. There's no value on either side. Then you go, oh, do you know what? You're great chatting.
Yeah.
You're a
I
lovely
might
person.
say, you know, actually, like, you know, speak to my colleague in blah. But it's never wasted.
I love that. Be brave. And I think there's two parts of be brave. Be brave to put on events that are different and fun.
Yeah. Try new things.
Yeah. I love that. Anything to add at the end about joy? That's what I want us to end on. So you've obviously got this business, which, you know, spoiler, trailer alert, we're going to be doing some more content together, which I'm excited for. But what do you think maybe is the most joyful thing about events?
I'm trying not to say
people. I know you want to say people.
I'm trying to think of something else.
That's true.
It is that. I mean, why would you bother? I mean, you know, why would you? You know, Excel is fantastic. It's modular. It's this sort of custom. It's beautiful here. We've got the river flying by. It's gorgeous.
We'll have to do a video so you guys can see where we're sat. It's really stunning.
But you know, Excel, that's just like a concrete exhibition hall down there. And so, you know, no one comes to Excel like, oh, let's just have a browse around the concrete halls. So it's the human beings that are inside it that create the energy, the magic, all of that kind of stuff that comes with events. So there's something joyful about that. There's also something joyful about seeing firsthand like business happen. There's something really beautiful about that, whether that's just a brand new brand that is like about to launch, or somebody who's been doing it for years, or somebody who's like imparting some knowledge to a young, you know, in the Sephora talk today, there was a girl who was like, I've created a beauty product. What do I do? And Sarah was like, what a beautiful question. Like, thank you. And so I was like, oh, and that literally made like, because I was like, this girl, she was young and she was obviously really, she wanted to get on the shelves of Sephora, right? Of course she did.
Smart
and
girl.
It's beautiful. But for me, I sort of sat and I thought, shit, you know, like that's the magic that happens at events that you don't see anywhere else.
Yeah.
Because that wouldn't happen. Like, how many LinkedIn's must she get? Do you know what I mean? Like, that wouldn't, I've got a brand, but to stand up in an event and go, hi.
It goes back to being brave as well.
Yeah, the brave thing. And that, for me, that's joyful, where you see the world turning, I think.
Yeah.
It's cute.
You see business getting done.
Yeah, right.
And people genuinely helping each other.
Definitely.
Because we are all humans. Even in a world of robots, we are all humans and we want to help.
the helping each other thing is beautiful as well, because I think we all think that we're all cynical sods, and actually most of us are decent human beings who would always impart and offer advice. And, you know, like sometimes it's choose your moments because people are like ridiculously busy. But from what I've seen, especially in this live event space, people just want to share their stuff. They want to help, right? They understand. They see that they were there at one point and they want to help you. So, yeah, that's beautiful.
I love that. Right, Donna, without further ado, should we go get an oobs to the drinks?
Need to order an oobs. Thank you so much for joining, Kelly.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
It was so fun.